Sometimes I feel like I just wanna go back to my old way.
Hi everyone, welcome to Shreya TV. If this is your first time, I talk about executive presence, mental wellness, and confidence that helps you in your everyday life. If you're returning to my channel, give me a high five, give me a low five, give me a fist bump. I love to see you each time you come and watch my videos. Today's video is inspired by a real client case that I've been working on. And I'll change the client's name and call him Viren. And he has a specific concern. He is attached to problems, specific work-related problems, sometimes for weeks and months, so much so that his productivity and efficiency gets hampered, and moreover, his mind is always full. If this is your concern too, then stick around and watch this entire video. But if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And also hit the bell icon so that each time I upload a video, you get a notification. And if you like the video towards the end, please hit the like button. I love to see likes on my videos. Who doesn't? I'm going to burst the bubble right in the beginning. Sometimes we think that we are attached to a problem, but slowly and gradually we start attaching to the ego of not letting go of that problem. So you need to first identify, are you still holding on to the problem, or are you moving towards the other side and getting more egoistic about not letting that problem go by? Hope that makes sense to you. Listen, human behavior is weird. We are a little complicated. Solutions are not really black and white all the time. With human behavior, you have to apply a step-by-step approach. And I hope with this video, you will be able to apply a step-by-step approach. First, start consciously tracking each and every time you think about this problem. Whether it is at 7:10 a.m. or it is at 3:28 p.m. or it is at 5:45 p.m. I did something like this for a different problem of mine a few months back, and when I started writing how many times I thought about it in a day, I was startled that at one point I thought about a problem for 118 times in a day. 118 times in a day I was thinking about the problem, and I felt exhausted just by looking at the number of times I was thinking about it. So when you consciously start tracking how many times you think about the problem, you're just going to get more aware of how exhausted your mind must be getting with discussing internally the same problem over and over and over and over again. By the end of, let's say, day 7 or day 10 or day 15, this naturally starts coming down, and your effort should be to bring down this thinking from, let's say, 118 times to 50 times in the next 7 days, and eventually to 20 times, and then 18 times, and then 5 times in a day, which is still manageable. But thinking about a problem 100 times a day is beyond control. So this tracking exercise is going to make you far more conscious and aware, and you're not going to be thinking about it as much as you are maybe thinking about it right now. Now that you're already tracking how many times you think about the problem in a day, you also want to make another side in your journaling activity and start writing what all are you thinking about the problem each time. And it takes like few seconds to write. So you don't have to write big stuff, you just have to write keywords. Are you thinking about the same redundant stuff over and over again? Or are you actually coming up with another way of looking at the problem, strategizing, solving the problem? Because if it is the latter, it's okay, it's not a bad idea. But if it's the former, again, you should be feeling wasted because there is nothing getting added to your mind. There's no stimulation that your mind is getting whatsoever. You are just thinking about the same stuff around the problem over and over again. Remember, I started by saying that we do get attached to the ego associated with not letting the problem go. And sometimes that ego gets so high that we get frustrated and agitated if others around us are not as interested in the problem as we are. So, point number 3, observe the difference in the emotional inclination that you have towards the problem versus others around you have towards the problem. Does that make sense? It's important to not only recognize but also accept that not everybody is equally inclined to the problem as much as you are. So you need to identify whether this is the source of your agitation, the fact that others are not as invested in the problem as you are. So sometimes this difference makes us mull over the problem much longer than we anticipated, and now we get into another set of an ego bubble where we just feel others are not good enough, they are not competent enough, they are not as smart, they take life too casually, they are so careless, whatever. So now see how your thoughts are completely moving from the problem itself to the nature and the character and the personality of the other people who are not considering the problem as important as yours. So, are you identifying the patterns? That gets me to point number 4. And I'm kind of obsessed with this point. And it's not intentional, I don't like plan it, but this point comes up in every discussion I have with you because it is such an amazingly workable solution. And that is, it is okay to be vulnerable about something that has become your weakness. If you are obsessing over a problem, if you are super attached to a problem right now and you know that you want to get rid of it, sometimes it's a good idea to let others know that you are thinking about the problem, you're still thinking about the problem while everybody else has moved on. So you want to buy some time, because when you consciously buy time from others, you just become extremely hyper alert about it, because now the world knows that you are mulling over the problem and they know it loud and clear from your mouth. So when they know it through you, you automatically become okay. Now that everybody knows, and now they are kind enough to be giving me some time, I need to be responsible and ensure that I get rid of it eventually. Also, when you're responsibly vulnerable, you end up opening more doors for yourself. So let's say that the root to this problem is that you must share a solution with other people, then this vulnerability is going to open the door for you. So you could let people know that, hey, you know what? I know I've been sitting on it longer than anticipated. Even I'm kind of disappointed in myself. But here is something I thought about it, and I know I will get rid of it eventually. So we might not want to implement it and execute it immediately, but I just wanted to let it out. So see whenever the time suits you, whenever it fits your schedule. But I think I wanted to release it to all of you, so I have released it. And now I can move back to some other stuff. So find your own practical way of doing it. See the dynamic of your company, of your home space, wherever you're going to try this. Look at the dynamics and then try this. I promise people are going to buy in. However, to execute this, you must have a hostile free image. You shouldn't have an image of somebody who's extremely agitated, who gets wild if people don't consider their points immediately. If you're not, this vulnerability tool is going to help you detach with the problem sooner than you expect. And finally, point number 5, create new outlets to release this angst, this problem that you've been thinking about. What could these new sources be? Well, you could make a video on it, stand in front of the mirror and talk about it, talk as much as you want to talk about it. Sometimes you should also journal about it. And I made a video a few weeks back on journaling. You should really watch this video if at any point you want to do any sort of self healing. Writing is therapy. Writing is therapy. Try to blog about it. Try to sometimes bake. Baking is therapy for so many people. Try to create an art around it. Draw something about this problem so that it just gets out. And the idea also is that the intensity of the problem should be reduced. And this way you'll realize that you won't have that urge or need to obsess over this problem even during your productive and efficient work hours. And now that you've released it, you're just going to feel the burden off, and you would focus a lot more on things that are happening now in your life. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.